down beat. Oh shit, we're alive! Welcome to the Authority on Wrestling podcast. I am Matty McKeegs. We have an extremely special episode today. We're actually down a man. We're down BG today. He had other commitments. So we have with us the COO, Rich Tobin.
Hello. I will do my best to fill in the spot of the great BG today.
And we also have with me, as always, Scumbag Mike.
Hello.
And so special episode today. I was reading yesterday, or maybe it was today. I don't know. It's all getting kind of blurred together. So Cody Rhodes did an interview, and he was saying that the original plans for him and the Stardust character were to actually split them across both brands. So to have one on Raw and one on SmackDown and have them appear as two different characters.
Really?
And I actually thought that was a really, really cool thing. I wanted to bring it up today because it kind of reminded me of like Three Faces of Foley with the, what Rumble was that?
That was 99.
That was Vince McMahon won that one, I believe.
That was the one that this one won?
I think so.
And it must have been 98 or 99.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Obviously, it's not going to happen now, but I thought it was like a worthwhile storyline. It kind of caught me off guard, so, you know.
No, that's...
I see you smiling.
That's definitely interesting because I didn't know what you were going to get into with that, but I didn't hear about that, but that would have been a crazy concept. It would have been a lot of work for him to do. I mean, he would have been traveling all over, and obviously he wouldn't have done the house shows. He probably would have just done the TV events for both. But that would have been a weird thing, but it would have been cool to see if they could have like split the characters enough where he would have been believable enough as Cody Rhodes by separating himself from the Stardust character.
Imagine if he had like the belt on one show and the belt. It would be really cool with like the tag belts.
Yeah.
If he had tag belts on both shows.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
He's appeared as do different things. I just thought it was a really novel concept.
What show? If he was, I was thinking about this the other day. What show do you think he would contribute to most if he still was there, and would he still be Stardust, or what do you think would have happened with him?
Well, if they got rid of the Stardust gimmick and they kept him as Cody Rhodes, I think he would have benefited SmackDown a lot more. But as far as if he stuck with the Stardust character, I think he would have probably been better off on Raw. They tend to have a little bit more characters on Raw.
Yeah, I look at Raw as kind of the entertainment show. I hate to break it down like that, but I kind of look at, and it's almost the same as it was. When I say back in the day, I don't really mean back in the day.
Yeah,
SmackDown is more the wrestler show.
Yeah, like when they had the Big Six with Edge and Christian. Yep. I mean, Edge and Kurt Angle and Guerrero and all those guys. It was definitely more focused on the wrestling, and Raw was a little bit more story driven.
Well, SmackDown, their main events now, I think, are averaging around like 20 to 25 minutes.
Really? Yeah.
And that's excluding the commercial break, because they're starting these things shortly after 9:30 Eastern time. Like they usually have entrances out by like 9:35, and then the match is usually starting by like in the low 40s.
I will say with last night's entrances, they definitely there was like 2 or 3 commercial breaks to get everyone out for the Battle Royal.
Yeah,
they could have just pushed them all out or done like 1-minute intervals. It would have been cool if they did a little bit more Royal Rumble style and have like 2 people start and then every minute have someone come in. It would have been kind of unfair to whoever was in later, or more fair to whoever was in later, but it would have been a nice twist instead of seeing just 10 long entrances.
Has that ever happened before, by the way? Has anyone ever won the Royal Rumble and then refused to fight in the in the main event?
No.
I can't remember that.
I don't think that would ever happen. I know people have lost their opportunities.
Because I was thinking of I know I just mentioned it, but when Vince McMahon won the Royal Rumble, he definitely didn't wrestle in the main event of WrestleMania, so I can't remember.
No, because he lost
he vacated it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because he ended up fighting Stone Cold at St. Valentine's Day Massacre for the title shot. Yeah, and that's when Big Show threw Stone Cold through the cage.
Yeah, it was off the cage,
but
Vince vacated the title, if I remember correctly.
You're thinking about when he won the title. You're thinking about when he won the title.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about when he won the Royal Rumble. When he won the Royal Rumble, they fought for the WrestleMania main event at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That's when
Big Show came up to the ring,
and threw Austin out by accident. Yep. Actually won him the match.
I think that's the only time he's been billed as Paul White, too.
Yeah. Then they changed it to the Big Show.
At one time. And then, so, I think it was last week the news came out. I'm getting all my dates mixed up. But there is likely going to be another draft this year. Yeah. Which, I don't remember during the first brand split them doing it on a yearly basis.
Yes.
They did do it on a yearly basis. So, but this was confirmed, if I remember correctly, during a conference call that Vince had with like investors and big league stuff. So, knowing that there's another draft coming up, what are some potential matchups we see coming out of that?
One thing I heard of, I read, so take it with a grain of salt, is that Reigns will definitely be going to SmackDown.
Okay.
That I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but I could kind of see that because they need a little bit more. They have, I know that's my favorite of the two shows personally.
The SmackDown.
Yeah, it's mostly because by default because I usually have Tuesday nights off from work, so that's the one that I can sit down and actually watch. Mm-hmm. But I like a lot of the guys there. Everyone knows I'm a fan of Evolution, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But besides that, I really like Bray Wyatt. Obviously, I love AJ Styles. Nikki Bella, but
yeah, you do.
Nikki Bella, the greatest diva.
Yeah, you were talking about how great she was last night.
I can't talk enough about Nikki Bella.
Yeah,
but
besides pleasant things to say about her.
He's getting red right now.
But honestly, I could see him really adding there because the thing about SmackDown is they only have about how many main event guys?
6.
There? Yeah,
every time it's the same 6.
Yeah.
They'll alternate some of them out.
Well, somehow Kalisto made it.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Because they needed 10 last night, so they had to really script Apollo Crews and Kalisto made it in there.
Kalisto made it in.
But, yeah, it's usually like...
The 205 Live Reject made it into the main event last night.
There's always a thing I always hear about, especially involving Kalisto. I hear a lot, I read about online, is that Kalisto to Raw and Cesaro to SmackDown. That's like something that everyone wants to see because you add a cruiserweight guy to the cruiserweight division, which would be great, and let him wrestle what he does instead of fighting Luke Harper and Cruz and Ziggler, and then you put Cesaro on the wrestling show, which is what he's the best at.
Absolutely, I think that. Well, I have two things. I think that you should move Cesaro and Sami Zayn both to SmackDown because they would get a little bit more.
But plus, they can stop doing the Zayn Kevin Owens matchup because that needs to be saved at this point.
I have a question for you, talking about the draft and everything. What do you guys... I've heard this a couple places, and I put a lot of thought into it, and I think this would be a cool concept. What if they moved all the tag teams to one show and all the women to the other show? So that you would have... Because you have the women split, and there's like half good talent on both of them, on both shows right now. And if you kind of fed them all to one show, they could balance out the roster a little bit more. And then move all the tag teams, like SmackDown has... some kind of shitty tag teams. You could split up some of the tag teams like Rhino and Heath Slater, Sheamus and Cesaro, who are just put together just to be tag teams. Put them by themselves and then just have just a solid tag team division on the other show.
Yes, I was actually thinking of a way to bring that up because I was talking about how I said I love SmackDown so much, but the one bad part about SmackDown is the tag team division is horrendous.
Yeah.
And I was watching it 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Maybe, was it 2 weeks ago? And there was like a tag team turmoil or something.
Oh, my, yeah.
And I actually got myself believing that the Ascension were actually going to win this thing. And I was like, are these guys actually going to win?
That was the Elimination Chamber when they did that. I will say this about the tag team division, though. Last night, the Usos promo was on fire. Those guys came out and they...
I think that was the one part of the show I missed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out in the crowd and they did like a back and forth promo where they're kind of doing one of them would say something and the other one would follow it up and they went back and forth and it was really smooth and it was a well done promo.
I like the new direction for them. I want to see them feud with Crime Time.
Bring Crime Time back.
the heel Usos versus Crime Time.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
That would be great.
But I think to go on with your concept with taking the women, isolating them to one show, taking the tag team, isolating that to one show. I think the issue there is overloading SmackDown. Because SmackDown, I mean, they don't even have a big tag division, and they don't have enough show for them.
Put the women on SmackDown.
But even with the women, how many would be coming in? You have Sasha, Charlotte, you have Bayley that would be coming in, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke.
Yeah, so you're talking about 6 or 7 extra.
Yeah.
I mean, as it is right now, I don't think they know what to do with Mickie James.
But you could. That's true. You could
Why did she randomly come out the other?
What was that awkward attack?
I didn't
That was the
understand.
most
There
awkward
was no point.
segment.
I don't know. I have no answer for that. It was a shit show.
And as anybody who's listened to this knows, or anybody in this, I'm a huge Mickie James fan.
You are.
But
Every week you find a way to bring her up and like talk about it for at least a solid 2-3 minutes.
Because she deserves it. But this is like I don't get what they're doing. She comes out and like awkwardly stands there, and then the camera's like cutting away from her. She runs into the ring and doesn't even get in the tag. It didn't even seem like it was like a scripted moment. It just seemed like she decided to do it. It was odd. I don't know.
It was weird.
So anyway, we'll move off of Mickie James, but they would be bringing in. I mean, Naomi just left. Is Tamina officially on SmackDown or Raw? I feel like we go.
I don't know, but then you have Emma too. If she comes back as a wrestling gimmick, that would be decent. I know. Tobin, did you not like Emelina?
I did. I actually did. Because I felt like no matter what, it's like it was almost like watching a movie, like a really, really long movie, and no matter what the ending was going to be, people were going to bitch about it. No matter what it was. She could have came out dressed like Bigfoot. I was saying, and you know, like, no matter what she came out as, I think it was just messed up from the start. So I don't know where they're going. I actually thought, I think I texted you guys this, was that I thought it was a play in the beginning that she was going to interfere in the, that was the same night as Bayley Charlotte, right, for the belt? As the main event, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to come out at the end of that and get involved there, but she didn't. So and then
that
she
would have
wasn't.
been a little more interesting.
And she wasn't there this week, right?
Nope.
So
No.
who knows now?
No,
So.
I mean she maybe main event she'll show up on.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in this room watches that show
No.
though, so that's.
Superstars and main event is not my. I watch too much wrestling to focus on those. No storylines ever star on that.
I did catch today. I caught the last half of 205 Live and Jack Gallagher. That guy, my God, I feel like he's really the only thing they have going because I couldn't be any less interested in Noam Dar. And who's the guy Noam Dar faced? He kind of is similar.
Not Tony Nese.
Not Tony Nese. Tony Nese reminds me of Neville. And there's
Yeah.
another guy that reminds me of Noam Dar who we faced last night. I can't think of who it is.
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I like Tozawa.
Tozawa's awesome. Him and Jack Gallagher are awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
even Rich Swann, the novelty's like worn off. It's like he's just gonna come out and say, "Can you handle this again?"
Yeah, and his promos have kind of destroyed his character.
Yeah, the worst thing they did was let him talk
Yeah.
extensively. Yeah.
Tozawa, he the one that goes like, ha!
Yeah, he
ha,
yells all the
ha.
time. He's
got that German suplex.
That German suplex is ridiculous.
What I saw one thing, that's maybe the thing I watched the least.
That's 205?
Just because of how schedules work out.
Yeah.
And what happened with Alicia Fox was with a guy and
Okay,
then
so she was
some
with-
creepy guy like
she was with
and then she's
Cedric-
with the creepy guy now or
So she was with Cedric Alexander as just a storyline point. And then Noam Dar started flirting with her and like calling her out. And I love how he says her name, Alicia Fox. It's so ridiculous. But he would like kind of like follow her around and try to get her attention, say like why he was Cedric Alexander, and then they had a couple matches. She slapped Noam Dar a bunch of times, and like he liked it, and then she turned on Cedric Alexander. There wasn't much to the story. It was weird.
Yeah, now she's just with Noam Dar. She just comes out with him.
Yeah.
It's really
just crazy.
It's really odd. I still think it's just that division's a mess. Although they played, it was odd. Did you see it this week?
The Austin Aries thing?
They play the Austin Aries thing, but they don't give any type of indication whether or not he's returning. They just played a video package, and he's like, "When I decide to come back, it'll be the biggest thing." And it was like, okay,
They shouldn't have even done that because I think he could have really turned 205 Live into something watchable because he's a star that they could use. With him and Neville kind of on the forefront of it, they could have pushed that show a little bit to get more eyes on the product. If he showed up as a surprise and just attacked someone, it would have been a little bit better. But now you have the anticipation of him showing up, so maybe it'll get people to watch in hopes that he'll show up.
I still don't like that they do when somebody's injured. They do these with Roman Reigns, and truthfully, I think this was the turning point for people basically turning on Roman Reigns, was when they did all those stupid via satellite interviews when he was injured.
Yep.
Because it didn't have impact when he came back. Nobody cared. We had seen him once every other week for the past 3 months. So when he came back, it was like, whatever, Roman Reigns, you've got to hype this up. It wasn't like when Triple H tore his quad.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he's just back one day.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Or like when Seth Rollins came back, which ties into the fact that next week they already have Seth Rollins coming back, which I guess maybe for storyline purposes it's needed. But they could have had him send out a tweet or something, have him come back this soon when we still don't know about his WrestleMania thing. And I know when BG's here, he gets really upset about the whole Seth Rollins WrestleMania stats. But regardless, it adds some drama to the whole thing. Because right now, I mean, most of the WrestleMania card, you can kind of, it's telegraphed at this point. But having that, I mean, unfortunately, he is injured. It adds a little bit of mystique to what's going to happen with that part of the card.
I think with him showing up on Raw, it's almost a guarantee that he'll be back for WrestleMania. I don't think they would have chanced it, especially with the fact that Naomi's now hurt.
Yeah, they wrote her off immediately.
They had to take her off immediately. And you never know. There's still a good 5-6 weeks before Mania, and there's always seems to be a lot of injuries around Mania.
What's her actual injury? I watched it last night, and what's her actual injury?
It's a knee injury. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't think it's an ACL or MCL because they didn't say it was going to be a long period of time. But they said that she wouldn't make it back in the 30 days to defend her title.
So is she out for Mania?
Mania's in 40 days. That's what Daniel Bryan made a point to say that. He was like,
the 30 day. Yeah.
In 40 days we have WrestleMania, and you won't be able to defend your title in the next 30 days.
Well, they've been doing a countdown because on Raw they even gave a countdown on it. I was impressed that didn't leak out. I didn't see anything about that beforehand.
About the Naomi injury?
No. I was kind of shocked to see it at the beginning of SmackDown.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to be the way they opened up the whole thing. So
it was sad too. You could tell that there was a lot of heartfelt feelings between Daniel Bryan not having to be the one, but it was good that they had him do it so that he could relate to her and say I've had to give up the title before, and it made it a little bit more of a moment for Naomi and the fans that she had to give up the title.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of them turning the belt over on SmackDown. I didn't think they had to do that. I figured they could have drawn it out a few weeks and had a tournament or something, but to just turn it around right then and there, especially because Becky Lynch was out of the title picture and now she's back in it, but she's still got that feud with Mickie James. I'm not going to diverge any more than that, but it was just odd to turn it around right at the beginning of the show that quickly. It affected the poignancy of the moment that happened with that promo at the beginning of the show. Felt.
You're right, and it also did make the title change feel a little lackluster because they did it right away. But I lost my train of thought. But I do think you're right, though. They could have held off a week at least on the title match, or done a tournament or something, and it wouldn't have taken away from the Naomi moment, because let her have her moment. And
what they could have done is done a tournament, and the finals been at Mania.
That's how I felt.
Because think how many divas are there? How many legit divas on SmackDown would be in a tournament? How many divas do they have actually?
I think they have 6 or 7, but Naomi's out on injury, and I feel like there's another injury in there.
I can't remember. Nikki Bella, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Mickie James, Alexa Bliss.
Maurice, technically.
Which
we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed about that.
The Maurice thing?
Yeah.
What about it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't get a good feeling off it. I don't like what they're doing. I feel like, but Maurice is obviously going to be with The Miz. So I feel like he's worked his ass off this whole year.
He has.
And now he's going to be in a mixed tag match. I feel like even John Cena has kind of worked his ass off this year.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that's kind of a kind of a waste of a match.
Well, there's two ways to look at this. You can look at it as it's a waste of a match of two great talents who have probably had the best years of their last 10 years. Or you can look at it as this is going to be one hell of a mixed tag match because you're going to have John Cena on one side and The Miz on the other. And it's a repeat, technically, of WrestleMania 27's main event with the added women in it. Because they had that. And they could maybe do more with this match than they did with that main event. Because I don't know if you remember that main event. That was the one where The Rock hosted, and then
it
ended in
he came out, he rock bottomed that
Yeah,
right?
a count out and then
he
restarted
restarted
the match,
and it was ridiculous, and they didn't get a good chance to show off their skills. And I think that this would be a good chance to show off their skills while escalating Nikki Bella because she's supposed to be retiring, and Maurice. I mean, she just gets tied in because she's married to the Miz.
Why not? And I'm sure this is a big favor to John Cena and Nikki Bella because I'm sure they have they ever really shared the ring together?
Never.
I don't even think like their thing has really been an on-screen thing up until this year when they started having an Italian match.
I almost thought they should have had John Cena come out after after Nikki Bella got attacked with a pipe.
Well, that was the thing is he came out in the the Battle Royal right after.
Yeah. To go after...
It's like he didn't even care.
Yeah, he had nothing.
There's no emotion shown.
My woman just got assaulted with a pipe. I got a match to train for.
Yeah, it's odd. It's an odd move, but I'm guessing this is a giant favor to Nikki Bella because I'm guessing it's something that they want.
Yeah. So
they're doing it for them. But I'm just not... If I never see another mixed tag match, I'm okay with it because... They're basically two separate matches that are occurring at the same time.
Yeah.
It's, and not that I want to see them change the rules of it because I don't think...
Bring it back to the intergender match where they used to have...
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Not with the politically correct environment we live in now.
Not with WWE, but it's been done very well.
Oh, no, yeah. But I just... I don't need to see mixed tag matches anymore. Yeah. I think the last one I remember seeing was the... Enzo one with like Sasha and stuff, and that was. I remember the promo more than I remember the friggin' match.
There was speaking of politically correct. Sometimes when I just watch a lot of old stuff, and I saw something that I don't know how I don't remember it, but I apparently remember the period where Triple H and Stone Cold were teamed up. As the Power Trip.
Yeah.
There was
a Power Trip.
A match or something where Austin just assaulted Lita with a chair.
Yeah.
Did
not give a
for like 30 minutes. It
wasn't 30 minutes. But it was a long time. He did go after her.
And I was like, you'd never see that again. You'll
a segment that I didn't see live. While we're on the subject of intergender stuff, were you following WWE at the time when Chris Jericho was feuding with Shawn Michaels and punched
his wife in the face? Right? Yeah.
I never saw that until a couple months ago. They were having.
I remember the feud. I just can't remember that.
It was a promo at a pay-per-view, and Shawn Michaels was getting heated with Jericho, and Jericho just turned around and punched. I don't know what her name is, but Shawn Michaels' wife right in the face, and they talked about it on Jericho's podcast, and Michaels was like, "You clocked her real good." He was like, "I was mad at you. I wanted to go after you, but she told me to hey, calm down. It's the business." But. What? I just saw it, and it was intense.
I gotta listen to that podcast.
The Michaels-Jericho feud, it all started because of Michaels retired Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And then Batista got pissed about that. So then Michaels and Batista had a feud, like a little feud over it.
Okay.
And then Michaels faked an injury in order to beat Batista. It was and Jericho was the referee during that. So then he started calling Michaels a coward for faking an injury to beat Batista.
Really?
And that's how that was actually a pretty good.
You must remember that because Batista was in it.
Yeah. Anything Batista I have right here in my file.
You have it in your file, in your memory bank.
So, speaking of Mania and stuff, is one of the big things Mania is not even just Mania anymore. It's everything.
Yeah.
Finishes don't count anymore.
Especially at Mania.
They especially don't count at Mania. But I mean, the Royal Rumble, how many attitude adjustments and styles clashes and phenomenal elbows did we see?
Yeah.
He's rolling out of AAs and stuff.
It really is an epidemic. I think it started with Ring of Honor, to be honest. I've seen it a lot there, and it seemed to carry over with some of the guys to WWE. Is they would just hit each other with finishers. And they would sell it a little bit, but then kick out immediately. Now, it was a different thing back in the day when, I don't know if you remember, Halloween Havoc 1998, when Diamond Dallas Page hit Goldberg with the Diamond Cutter, and then was tired, and it took, a couple seconds,
which that still happens in the video games. They still replicate it in the video games, which is hilarious.
The weirdest thing is I actually watched that match today.
Did
ironically.
You really?
Don't know how it came up on my YouTube thing.
All right.
And I watched, maybe you could have said something like best Goldberg entrance of all time. So I was like, all right, what makes this the best one. So I clicked on it, and it was that match. And he hit it with the diamond cutter, and it took him like 5 minutes to crawl over. And that's
it took
when
him
he
a long
kicked
time.
out.
And then that's when he kicked out. So it made this finisher, it didn't weaken the finisher at all. But now you see John Cena hit someone with an attitude adjustment from the top rope and then go to pin him, and he kicks out. And a lot of those fake finishes, yes, it adds to the intensity of the match and like the speculation of like who's going to win, and it just creates a little bit more drama. But I don't think it's helping sell a finisher. I think that finishers, if done right, could be something incredibly fierce to be feared. Like,
Well, the thing is, kicking out of a finisher should be a big moment. Should be like like that you don't expect it. That what I look at, what finisher do you see kicked out of the most? That I guess what I'm trying to say is, but the one that pisses me off the most for some reason is the sharpshooter.
Okay, so submissions in
when
general?
Bret Hart did the sharpshooter,
Yep.
no one got out of it.
Yep.
At least in his first half of his career. Towards the end, after Austin broke it at WrestleMania 13. And actually, I think after since Shawn Michaels, remember at the Iron Man match, he survived it. But before that, no one got out of it.
Yeah.
Now people do the sharpshooter. Natalia does it. Cesaro does it. No one ever gives up in the sharpshooter.
Absolutely.
What's different? Why can they not get out of Bret Hart sharpshooter, but they can get out of Cesaro sharpshooter? Like, what, in my mind, I'm like, what's different?
Do you know what move? There is no difference.
Like,
I don't mean to take away from the sharpshooter.
Right.
But do you know what move blows my mind that is used 4 times in a match and it's not a finisher? The DDT. That was the finisher. Like, that was his thing. Jake the Snake, if you hit him with a DDT, it's over. Now people hit a DDT and it's a breathing moment.
How about the superplex?
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yep.
People kick out of all the time. But well, it's funny because Paul Heyman has gone on about this a lot in the last few years. And not only that, there's been moves that, like the DDT, that should be a finishing move that aren't used as a finishing move.
Brainbuster.
Yeah.
I was listening to a very interesting interview where they talked about why do people do a suplex? If you're believing into the story of wrestling, if you're like buying into the match, why would any opponent do a suplex when they could just stop halfway through and do a brainbuster? It's more devastating, it adds more impact, and you're taking less time. Like, it kind of negates the idea of a suplex, because you have him up there, why not just drop him straight down instead of onto his back?
See, what I think needs to happen, and I don't know how they would start this because you'd have to convince a wrestler to actually do this, is that people need to start losing to normal moves. Like, you ever see, like, someone will close on someone and then cover them? Yeah. When's the last time you've ever seen that work?
Luke Harper has the discus close on. But you're right. I agree 100%.
Like Cena has this thing now he does, which is it looks like he sets up for a power bomb, does like a flip.
Yeah, the sunset flip power bomb.
He should beat somebody with that,
yeah.
Like so that the crowd will actually believe that. Oh, the crowd's never going to believe that this might be the end of the match if no one ever gets beat by it.
It's all sizzle and no steak. It's just a flashy move to add.
Or the springboard stunner.
Yep, yeah, like that's it. Pin someone with it. Let's
Did
him
he
get pinned.
stop doing that?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, that was the best. I was so happy when he had that win.
The first time he did it, I thought it was a mistake that he just fixed. But no, he did that for a while, but he stopped doing that. I think submissions, especially, are the easiest things to do to make them believable. It's just make someone tap out, make no one be able to reverse or kick out of a finisher. Chris Masters did it with a full Nelson.
That wasn't that long ago.
And it wasn't that long ago.
That was like 06.
10
right?
years
Like 06 or something?
Like,
remember the Master Lock Challenge?
Yeah.
He had like Marines come out and stuff.
Yeah.
Who broke it? Was it Cena?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, all right, yeah. Same.
But yeah, like, so it's definitely easier to do with a submission. Just have them tap out instead of kicking out or reversing it. I mean, Big Show had his punch, which was a weak finisher, but
it's actually if you want to do believability,
yeah,
that might be the most effective finisher because if you ever got anyone who got punched in the face by the Big Show, they're probably not going to get up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually I think one of the matches where it was, they definitely used finishers multiple times, but one of my favorite Mania matches and one that really generated excitement because it wasn't happening as much then was Batista versus Undertaker. Was that 23? Was that Mania 23?
Yes.
Maybe
No.
No?
was
No,
it a year
Mania
after?
23 was... It might have been Mania 23, actually. I was thinking of Mania 22 when it was
Yeah,
Mark
I think
Henry
it was
versus...
Mania 23. That might be
Well, 24, 25. Was that Michaels or was Michaels 25, 26?
25, 26 was...
Or
25,
Undertaker.
26. Yeah, yeah. It was 23, 24. I think it's 23, but like it's
Because
in that
24
ring.
was Edge.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was Edge on it.
But that match was awesome. I mean, Batista hit the Batista bomb. At one point during the match, and you thought it was over. You thought it was absolutely over, and Taker kicked out of it. That was a great back and forth match where the finishers, even though they were used multiple times, they had the impact they should have had.
Absolutely.
And there was that that exhaustion and stuff that was displayed too, because John Cena, and not just John Cena, because I don't want to rag on him solely, but like a lot of these guys when they go into their finishing sequence of moves. It's very Hulk Hogan-esque, where they Hulk up and they get this second win out of nowhere when they've just been eating dirt for like 15 minutes before that. And I think that's the problem. Like, yeah, it worked for Hogan in the 80s and it worked for Warrior and stuff, but like that just does not work anymore.
I think it really does work for Randy Orton because he doesn't do that. He doesn't do the Hulk up thing. He can be eating, like as you said, eating dirt for a while and then just out of nowhere hit an RKO, and then that's enough to finish someone off. And it's not too often someone kicks out of the RKO. That's still one of the most impactful finishers that they have, because it's not often you see someone kick out of that. Yeah, with the diamond cutter.
What actually, I just, for some reason, some finishing sequence just got my mind that I watched it, and I got really upset. Not upset, but I was like, do you remember in the Hell in a Cell, Undertaker somehow kicked out of, it was a sweet chin music,
And then the
fall
pedigree.
directly back into a pedigree and
Yeah.
still kicked. I was like, come on, like.
Yeah,
I get you want to take her to win, but
He's the Undertaker
who's gonna kick out of that?
Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's the only person.
He's
that
the
can kick
dead
out of
man. The rules don't apply.
Yeah, he doesn't follow the regular rules.
Speaking of which, what is the actual likelihood we even see him this year? Who the hell is he going to face? Because
Roman Reigns is the rumored opponent.
Oh, that's right. That's
They're
right. I'd completely forgotten about that Rumble moment.
They're thinking about having him interfere in the Braun Strowman match because it would make both men not look weak. Because Braun Strowman could really hurt from a loss, and so could Roman Reigns.
I don't know how Taker. I mean, this is a guy that couldn't even physically walk down to the ring at Rumble.
Yeah.
Like he just had to appear into the ring. So, I mean, they had golf carts that would bring people down. He couldn't even do that. So I don't see. I don't know how that's going to get pulled off this year. I know we've talked about it before, but it's just it really kind of bothers me.
I think it is. We've been saying this for years, but I think it's his time to leave. He has nothing left to prove anymore. His streak's not intact. He's just going out there. It feels like he's going out there just to service the fans, to be seen, and it's not a necessity anymore. They have enough talent where they don't need him.
Yeah, it's a going through the motions thing at this point. I think anyway.
It hurts to say it because it's almost like a childhood kind of thing, but I think he's done.
Yeah.
Like I just looking at him, it's just like he's done. Like just go home, go
Right
with
off into
Michelle
the sunset.
McCool, and just relax, relax.
He's in need of a
Right.
hip replacement, supposedly. Which is insane because Mick Foley's in need of one too, and all he goes on about on Facebook is how he can't do the job. His job, the job's coming to an end quickly for him because he's in so much freaking pain all day.
Yeah.
So if that's Mick Foley going on about it, imagine the Undertaker's actually going to be working matches and stuff.
Yeah, if the Undertaker knew how to use Twitter, he would definitely be complaining.
Yeah. Well, I think he probably does. He probably just doesn't use it. So, so on the recurring theme of WrestleMania, because obviously we're heading towards that at a rapid pace because we're at 38 days now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I subtracted from your 40 days. Yeah.
Nice. I like what you did there. Quick math.
Well, that would be 37 when this goes live tomorrow. But so we had last week, as we went over for an extensive period of time, we had Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, the breakup.
Yeah.
So this week we got a Kevin Owens promo that kicked off Raw in a suit. Always
He
a
meant
plus.
business at that point. He meant business.
Always a plus with almost limited lighting. Sitting backwards on the chair, close in angle. Great promo. Chris Jericho thing went completely unaddressed outside of the little mic drop thing. But I like that. I did like that because I think when Chris Jericho comes back, the reaction to that should be freaking huge.
Yeah.
So
I agree. That promo was very intense. I love what he said about Goldberg, calling him out, saying that, like, this is his match. He's going to dictate it at Fastlane. It's not going to be a 90-second one spear, one jackhammer, which it might be, but I hope it's not for Kevin Owens' sake. He could really use to stand some offense in this match, and it would be a good test for Goldberg to see. You don't want to have him just do another 90-second match if you know at WrestleMania he's going to have to put forth some effort. Do 3 or 4 minutes of, like, hiding, like rolling out of the ring, antagonizing Goldberg.
And then Jericho throw him back in.
And then, Jericho throw him back in. Goldberg will get pissed, hit him, and...
If that's it.
Yeah. I don't see... I would like... What about you? Do you have any thoughts on what you think?
It's kind of odd because I could see Owens... Because I think we all know the last match of Mania is probably going to be Goldberg-Lesnar. It'll be the last one.
Has it been confirmed as the main event? I thought it was.
There's always like 4 or 5 main events.
Yeah.
I could see that being the headlining main event.
I don't see the SmackDown one being the headlining main event.
I could see that opening the show. They've done that multiple times.
They used to
I
do
hope
that,
it
right?
doesn't,
Yeah.
but
I wouldn't hate it because they can be more experimental with the SmackDown title. I said that last week.
Mm-hmm.
They could go a couple different ways with it.
And I can't really see Owens and Jericho closing the show. So I could see Owens and Jericho without the belt being in the middle of the show.
The thing is, too, Jericho has the U.S. title, so that still could be for
That's
that.
right, I forgot about that.
So you wouldn't do a belt-for-belt match main event. They're not the caliber of Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior.
So should he be stripped of his title then? Because he's clearly not going to defend that within 30 days.
He might.
Because you think about it.
I don't know if you actually have to defend it in 30 days, but I know you have to be capable of defending it in 30 days.
I can't wait for the official book of rules to come out to see if this is all in there. Did you see that they're coming out with the official book of rules?
Dean Ambrose, he had the United States title from October to like June one year, and he defended it like twice in that time. It was ridiculous. Dean Ambrose is the worst champion.
Didn't he used to tuck it into his belt? Who's the ones that used to tuck? Oh, Eminem. Remember they used to tuck it into their belt straps?
Miz and Morrison.
That was great. With Melina, they would do the little dance at the side of the ring.
That was so funny.
I'm actually still mad that Ambrose has the IC belt. There's no need.
Well, I forgot he had that until he came out.
He didn't even wear it to the ring. How much more would have been like? This is what I said about. We go back to the whole Cena Miz thing. You could have been such a bigger moment if you just kept the belt on the Miz this whole time.
Yep.
Like, what was the point of taking it off the Miz?
Why did they take the IC belt off of Dolph Ziggler? He could have.
And then have the Miz lose it at Mania to drop it to somebody like even someone like Apollo as bad as but what was the point of giving it to Ambrose? What was the point of it?
There is no point. And the thing, what you kind of wrote off Apollo Crews there, at least having the IC belt would have given Apollo Crews credibility.
Or even Baron Corbin, because they want to build him. So
well, I mean, he's probably going to get it at Mania, which would make sense and give him his moment. Well, even though he had the moment last year. But if he won the IC belt at this Mania, it would add a little bit of credibility to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, because he won that last year in his debut, and there hasn't been a reason to win that yet. Like, you don't get anything.
I kind of dig that segment because it's become the new gimmick Rumble. Yeah, where they have all the old guys.
Last year,
I want to see Doink this year. I want to see Doink and Papa Shango.
What if Shaq Big Show closes Mania?
Doink. Well, there's 3 Doinks.
Oh, okay, all right. Just the character. Yeah,
I don't care. Yeah, I want to see Doink. Yeah.
What if Shaq Big Show closes Mania?
Oh my god, Shaq might not even be at Mania.
I thought it was already done.
They had scheduled it and wrote it in, but apparently they're having a tough time getting a hold of Shaq.
Yeah. Well, he had ankle issues his last couple of years in the NBA. He was getting cortisone shots and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, there's questions right now as to whether or not Kurt Angle can pass a WWE physical, which I don't think will be an issue. But my point is if they're questioning whether Kurt Angle, who has been an athlete,
Yeah.
who's been active in the ring. And, what about Shaq, who hasn't done shit? He doesn't have any ring experience. He's got bad ankles. So.
Well, I mean, he was in the Battle Royal last year.
Briefly.
Yeah, for a minute. But if Shaq doesn't show up, I would not hate to see Big Show Braun Strowman again, because that match they had on Raw was for two guys, two big men, and one of them who's in his 50s, I think, or Big Show, or his late 40s.
Late 40s.
But those guys definitely put on a show for the main event of Raw.
I think if they fight at Mania, it should be a stiff match.
Oh yeah, stipulation. Yeah.
But before we get into that, their match at Raw, was awesome, because I can't remember. I mean, I've seen a Big Show main event. I was at the worst Survivor Series of all time.
Me
so
too.
were you?
Yeah.
Were you there?
Which one was it?
Survivor Series, was it 13 or 14?
It was 2013, I think, and it was
Big Show versus Orton for the title.
And the other main event,
that was the main event.
The
event.
other main event was John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was terrible. There was only one Survivor Series match.
Yep.
It was only, I can't remember who was on it.
I just remember the Shield was on one side, and Roman Reigns eliminated 4 other people. I think it had like Rey Mysterio on the other side and a couple other people.
I've only been to one Survivor Series in my life, and it was in Boston.
Yeah.
It was actually, I think it was actually a really good show.
Was it 08?
I had a lot of beers. I can't remember. I know that it was supposed to be Triple H, Kozlov, Hardy. Hardy got jumped in a stairwell, so that like Edge came back from injury.
That was 08, and then they had it was a casket match with Undertaker
and Mark Henry, right?
Was it Mark Henry
Or Big Show? Was either Mark
I think
Henry?
It was Big Show. It was supposed to be the Great Khali, I think, and then he couldn't pass a physical or something.
Oh my God!
That's it. That's the only thing I can remember from.
I know we're getting off. We're getting off topic of tonight, but this is a different formulated show than we normally do anyway. But talking about the Great Khali, isn't it weird that his match was the Punjabi prison match and he's never been in one?
The most punishing structure known to man.
And he's never been in one?
He had to have been in one.
He was supposed to go against the Undertaker in the first one, and he got sick, so it ended up being Undertaker Batista. And then he was supposed to go against Batista in the second one, and something happened to him, and it ended up being Batista versus, I don't know, someone else.
So Batista's been in both these matches.
Yes, it's Batista's.
This is Batista's match then.
Yes.
The star of the evening, Batista.
Oh my goodness. That's what happens when we have Tobin on the show.
You know what's funny? All these Batista references too, they've come about pretty naturally.
Yeah, we haven't forced it. I didn't like just.
It's just your aura just screams Batista.
So Strowman, Big Show. That was a great match.
Absolutely.
And you know what's cool? I don't feel like I was as excited as Vince McMahon, but it's cool that the heavyweights are kind of back again.
Yeah.
Making their thing. So.
Well, yeah. I knew. We all know that Show had no chance of winning the match.
Absolutely.
But I actually thought for a second, I was like, maybe. Because I was like, is there a chance? Like, would they? Like,
he's in the best shape he's ever been. I saw an interview where he was saying he's the best shape he's been since he was 25. And he did good. And, like, he was, when Strowman came off the top and Big Show hit him with a punch.
That's what I thought. I was like, wait, maybe they'll pull the trigger right here. But,
I thought it was a great main event. And, I mean, it was straightforward enough. We don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but I was just impressed with it. I love Samoa Joe on Raw.
Yeah.
I think he needs to move away from the ramp attacks and the ringside attacks for a little bit. I think they've had 3 to 4 weeks of ramp and ringside attacks for Samoa Joe.
I actually love ramp attacks. There's nothing you can't get.
He's the new Hitman. He's going to be Samoa the Hitman Joe.
But there's no backstage. It's all ramp attacks.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting the jump on him.
Was he wearing a suit when he did the ramp attacks?
That's his thing. You think he's going to attack in jeans and a t-shirt? He did that on his debut, but then he aligned with Triple H, so boom. He
was in tap-out gear his debut.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if you know this. When you align with Triple H as part of becoming a part of the authority, you get a suit. It's a perk.
Well, Kevin Owens, he's in a suit again.
Yeah.
So I think the implication is he's a made man again. He's paid, laid, and made.
We need a female to buy in. That's what I was saying the other day.
Have her come back.
Like a dress suit.
Nia Jax in a suit might not be the worst look she's had, seeing as she wears a trash bag to the ring.
I love her theme music.
Imagine if Bailey bought in.
Oh, Bailey.
Bailey buying.
You know what? I mean, Charlotte would make sense. Buying in.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was I feel like I read something a couple of weeks ago. I didn't read it thoroughly, but about them potentially putting together the 4 Horsewomen stable down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but
you would need someone to combat that.
They need a bigger women's roster.
Yeah.
That's the issue because they don't have a big enough women's roster to have a stable.
They do have this women's tournament coming in, and hopefully they sign a couple people from that because they have some strong names on that list.
I'm wondering because she was doing the movie of Tessa Blanchard gets signed. I would love to see because she's dating Ricochet.
Yep.
I would love to see him come in too because that dude is so friggin'
Paul
ridiculous.
Heyman on stage gave him an open contract to NXT developmental whenever he wants it.
How did Paul Heyman do that?
Paul Heyman can. All the open contract does is you get to try out for a developmental.
Dude, but how's Paul Heyman have that power?
He's Paul Heyman. He's a lawyer. His dad's a lawyer. He's probably just a Vince McMahon.
Speaking of it's kind of blasphemous to even mention this here, but does anyone watch TNA at all?
Yes.
There's a diva, not an actual diva, Rosemary. You know Rosemary? Yeah. I think she's actually awesome. And
she's very good. I think TNA does have some. Man, I would love to see Gail Kim come back.
That's what I said. One of the good things about them is they actually have some decent women wrestlers there.
And it's not blasphemous. Brent said the same thing last week too. We are not just WWE focused.
No.
We do talk mostly about it because that's what everyone kind of watches, and it's the most general audience we can get. But you can talk about we talk about all kinds of federations here. But yeah, TNA definitely has a strong woman.
There's a couple people from there that I would like to see come on. Are they out of business officially yet, or what?
No, they got bought out.
They just got bought out by Anthem. It's a
they changed the logo. There's like an owl in it now.
Yeah,
and shit.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But yep, they got they have some funding now, so they're probably good for at least another year until they're Pop. I think they're on Pop TV.
Yeah.
Until their contract runs out with them. And
what channel is that on? An HBO, not HBO, DirecTV. I don't know. Out, but
I like Mike Bennett from there.
Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis are amazing. And they live around here.
They live something like Providence or something. Yep. Or No, I really like Mike Bennett. I could see him on SmackDown.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So they got to gut TNA's roster.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I would like to see the two of them coming in. But I thought it was interesting because she was doing the, I guess she was doing the work, the ring work for the Paige movie they're doing. Which, if we could talk about that for a second, why in the hell are they doing a movie on Paige's life?
I actually know the story behind this.
And why is The Rock starring it? What did The
Rock is not starring in it. The Rock is producing it.
But he's in it too.
Because, I'm sure he's in it as himself or something. Because he doesn't get a lot of downtime. He's usually training or filming a movie. But he said one night when he was in the hotel, he happened to flip on the TV and saw the documentary Fighting With My Family that, I forgot what company it was, made about Paige's family. There's a documentary about Paige's family. And he saw that and he was so intrigued that he immediately was like, here's the money, let's make this movie. And I think they started filming within 2 weeks of that, of him making that decision.
So I don't, because when she got announced for the Stone Cold podcast, with what they had established the Stone Cold podcast to be at that point, which it was older talent, and I'm not saying that there were these set rules they had to play by, but I think everybody went, what, her career has just begun. Why are we having a retrospective Stone Cold pod? The intrigue wasn't there. It just wasn't, and there was a generation gap there, I guess. I guess the same goes for Dean Ambrose, but Dean Ambrose has been around for a little bit within WWE's system.
Absolutely.
So it I don't know. I just thought it was weird. But anyway.
I haven't seen the documentary. It's called Fighting With My Family, and it's about her and her family. And
get that free plug in there.
I think one of them owns a whiskey company or something, and one of them owns a bar, and so that has to do with that. But apparently her life is interesting enough where The Rock thinks it needs to be made into a movie. So
yeah, it's a WWE Studios film too, so it'll probably be straight to DVD.
Yeah, with The Rock's name on it, maybe not.
Yeah, we'll see.
What's the best? Here's a quick. What's the best WWE Studios movie?
I I legitimately liked See No Evil. The first
I was
one.
just gonna say this one with Corporate Kane.
I like
as the,
what was the Triple H one? The chaperone.
Oh my goodness! Knucklehead, the one with the Big Show, was really not terrible either.
The Condemned wasn't bad.
Oh, was that the Stone Cold one?
Yeah.
I never saw
It's
that
basically
one.
The Running Man just remade.
Wasn't there one where I had to get my authority plug in with Randy Orton not booked. Randy Orton was cast as the Marine.
Oh yeah, no.
And then the Marines actually complained because they were like, we don't want him.
Oh yeah, because he went AWOL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he actually went to like military court and got locked up.
Yeah, it was like 30 days.
He
Yeah.
talked about that in his documentary, the WWE DVD.
Yeah, so John Cena ended up doing it,
Yep.
and now The Miz has done like all the sequels.
Except for the second one, which Ken Kennedy was in.
Forgot about him.
Yeah, I know. He was in one of their movies, huh?
The movie was so bad. It was such a bad.
I've never seen any of them.
I for a little bit when they first started coming out, I was like, I gotta go see these, and they were all really bad. Now they just go direct to DVD.
The first Cena one wasn't bad.
Okay, I believe you. I never saw it.
No,
But then there was
first
another
Cena
Cena
was
movie that was
12
almost
rounds.
just like it.
12
That was
rounds. Because I know Cena was in the first
yes,
12 rounds.
that was
I
it.
think.
Yeah. And his wife was the same person in both movies, right?
I don't know.
I didn't see 12 rounds. I saw him in the ring.
Wasn't that what the Terminator was the bad guy, Robert Patrick?
Yeah, the Terminator 2. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we had SmackDown yesterday. We had the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender because Randy Orton's not going to take his Royal Rumble spot. So Battle Royal finishes. Harper and Styles supposedly land at the same time.
Which clearly did not happen. AJ Styles definitely landed first.
And they're slated to face each other next week for SmackDown.
I think even Mick Foley called that out on Twitter. He said
he's definitely losing his job now.
He's like if it was on me and Steph's show, we would have shown an instant replay and restarted the match or something.
What do you think they're going to bring replays into WWE?
Like challenges?
Like
Imagine if they had that, like they had like one challenge a month.
It's weird. I never understand like the mindset of some wrestling stuff. Two things in particular is when we clearly see somebody cheating on an instant replay on TV, and you know they're showing it on the big screen.
Yep.
Why doesn't the ref just look and see that and then change it? And another thing, I never understood how when a wrestler's watching a TV in the background, they're not seeing themselves on the TV. Like
like a backstage thing,
when
right?
they're doing the backstage
yeah.
interview or something, and they're seeing what's going on in the ring or something. How are they not seeing?
It's different. My favorite one is, all these feuds are supposed to be professional, but they always end up being personal to the characters.
Yeah.
Why do they wait till 8 o'clock on a Monday and Tuesday night
Exactly.
to settle their shit?
Or like, why doesn't Nikki Bella just call the cops on Maurice for attacking her with a pipe?
Oh, there's no DQ.
Good. You know what? That's a good point.
It was unsanctioned.
Yeah, like, the cops can't get involved.
Remember when I was watching the other day, because it was one of the only pay-per-views my parents let us order when we were younger, was uncensored.
Yeah.
And it was the one in, I think it was 98 or 99, when they did, it was like a steel cage with barbed wire on top. It was Flair and Hogan.
Yeah.
It was
nice,
awful.
yeah.
It was so bad.
Ugh.
But, I loved how the gimmick for that was like, these matches are not sanctioned by WCW. Right in the middle of the ring was the WCW logo and had all WCW announcers and shit.
There was also a match like that, I want to say when Shawn Michaels first came back in Triple H. They had a match.
Yeah, they had an
and it was
unsanctioned match.
And Michaels was wearing jeans. You knew it was unsanctioned because he was in jeans. And he wasn't in like his normal wrestling gear. So it's he's in jeans. This is not
Street fight.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference between a street fight and like a no disqualification is jeans.
I wish they would still do that. Well, fucking Ambrose and Cena
ruined it.
because they're always in jeans and jean shorts. So it's Harper.
Yeah.
I think that happened at a Mania with Edge and Foley. There was an Edge and Foley no disqualification match at a Mania.
That was unsanctioned?
I know Edge was wearing jeans.
Yeah, Edge was wearing jeans. That one I think was just like, I think it was a hardcore match.
That was 22, I think.
Yeah, that was 22.
That might have been the Undertaker, but
that's when they lit the table on fire.
Undertaker, Mankind, Mark Henry.
That one?
The casket match, I believe. I don't know. You know what?
Undertaker, Mark Henry was a casket match. and that one was at Mania. I forget which Mania that was.
Yeah.
What about the Undertaker versus what was the worst Undertaker match at WrestleMania?
Giant Gonzalez.
You think so? There was one where he was like in a handicap match. It was like him and
It was
like
it was-
Heidenreich or something.
No, it was supposed. I know exactly what that was. WrestleMania 19. It was supposed to be Undertaker and Nathan Jones.
Yes. Why did I say
Against
Heidenreich?
Big Show and A-Train.
Yeah, that's it.
And Nathan Jones was not good enough to wrestle, so they did a storyline where he got injured or taken out back, so he couldn't be in the match. And Undertaker still won a handicap match against the Big Show and A-Train. What a ridiculous!
Who made that team?
Oh God, I don't know.
So getting back out on point with Harper Styles, what I think we all know what the obvious route is, but what's the route that you guys think they're gonna take? I guess.
Do a fatal 4-way? Will this end in like a something too? Will this end in like a schmoz? Or?
I think this is going to end in the word schmoz. I think it's going to end in the schmoz. I mean, you heard rumors of. Actually, I want to address this too. You heard rumors of AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon.
I did hear that all the time. Yeah.
And so maybe I just want to put a twist on this for you. But maybe something will happen at the end of that match, and then AJ gets mad at the people in charge.
What I would do if I was doing it, I'd be like, well, this what actually happened is a perfect way to segue into this. You could have Shane come out and go, by looking at the footage, you can clearly see that AJ Styles hit the ground
and
first.
then AJ gets mad. And...
Yeah, there you go. That's you can't.
But the match is already booked.
Right. So
what if? I know this is very unlikely, but I've heard rumors and hearsay that Daniel and Bryant might be okay to go. What if instead of AJ versus Shane, which would be an okay match, but Shane's not in top wrestling quality, what if you had AJ versus Daniel Bryant?
No, the AJ Shane match would suck.
It would.
As much as I love Shane, like you've seen all his tricks, like and he gets so gassed now from just like fake
walking
punching.
down to,
he gets so gassed from doing it. It would be a waste of an AJ Styles match.
So do you think there's any chance that would happen, and would you like to see that?
It would be cool, but what's the actual likelihood? Especially now that they did a 24 special, which I can't, because 24 is probably the most least kayfabe thing that they produce.
They really kind of tear down that fourth wall and let you see what's going
so
on.
for them to do a 24 special on his retirement and stuff, I can't imagine them sitting on him actually being able to wrestle. The only thing that makes me question it is all this back and forth with The Miz, but it's clear they're not going in that direction with The Miz for WrestleMania.
Well, they could do. What if you get the AJ Styles Daniel Bryan match, and then at maybe SummerSlam you could do Miz and Daniel Bryan?
Well, what if you don't do Shane McMahon? What do you do with AJ Styles? Like, what do you do with him at WrestleMania?
I would have much rather seen him versus The Undertaker, only because I know he could have gotten a way better match out of The Undertaker with Undertaker doing minimal work in that match.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see him against The Undertaker. I don't know who you'd pair him with on SmackDown. It'd be cool if they could do a crossover match with him and somebody on Raw, but I don't know how they pull it off.
I heard that as a rumor where they would say there's going to be a match where you get to pick each brand person gets to pick who they want.
You know who would be cool in that match? I don't know what the rumor is because I didn't hear this, but AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
That's what I heard. That's actually
is that what
I couldn't think. I know I heard somebody.
Because right now they wouldn't have Finn Balor going up against anyone.
And that one could be a natural time because the thing is AJ Styles is still connected with Gallows and Anderson. Because if you look on his gear, he still has the club logo on, and anytime they do an interbrand pay-per-view, they appear in some form
of a backstage
typically.
Yeah.
So like they are still, even though they're not what you would call an active faction, they are still a faction. So if you have something where Gallows and Anderson at some type of interbranded event screw. I was just looking at their schedule today. They have so many friggin' like signing opportunities and stuff that are coming up. So let's say Gallows and Anderson are at like Toys R Us signing with AJ Styles, and then they just all of a sudden beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then you find out that Finn Balor's the man behind the curtain pulling the strings, and now it becomes a big war for the for control of the club or something like that.
The thing about that is you have 5 weeks to get this storyline done. And you need to have Finn Balor back on TV, established. Because remember this, Finn Balor's had 3 matches in WWE main roster. He had 2 matches on Raw that first night he debuted, and he got his title match, and then he beat Seth Rollins for the title. And those are the only 3 matches. Now, people like us remember and love him, but then there's some people that probably don't.
Yeah, but they've alluded to the fact that he is connected with Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
On Raw a few times, they alluded to it.
But yeah, that being said, do you think that this 5 weeks is enough time to get both those guys involved in a match and build a story around it?
They've built stuff in less time now. I think we're so locked into these long builds because that's the norm now. But I don't remember back in the day them taking, these super long. I don't remember all these blow off matches too, rubber matches.
Yeah, no.
Like that. This is all a newer thing where feuds are long play feuds.
The only long term feuds I can remember was
Shawn
Michaels Bret Hart was a long term feud.
It depends on how far you're going back.
Wasn't Austin calling out Bret Hart for months when Bret Hart was hurt?
Yep.
And then finally Bret Hart came, so that was like almost a year long.
Sting Hogan.
Yep. That
Sting
took a year.
Hogan. They had Stone Cold Triple H, Stone Cold The Rock. Triple H The Rock was a really long feud with DX and Nation of Domination. So it's not unheard of, and I think they broke away from it starting in about 2000. You know what? Even Kurt Angle Brock Lesnar was a huge long feud.
Yep.
And then Cena Orton. Long feuds have always been around. I don't know.
But I don't feel like the builds, I don't feel like they've been as long. Because, you can build stuff, especially when they were doing... Because pay-per-views, obviously, as we've discussed before, they don't hold as much weight as they used to. Mm-hmm. Back in the Attitude Era, when all those pay-per-views were must-watch, because, to be honest, I think I've missed, Battleground the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I not purposely, I just have. I've had other stuff going on, and I haven't seen it live. With something like Battlegrounds, it doesn't hold as much weight as it used to, whereas that pay-per-view, all the pay-per-views during the Attitude Era, and even before then, before then it was In Your House, it was a little different, but they were must-watch events. Yep. And I felt like there was separate stories leading up to all of them, where it wasn't a recycled thing. And not only that, they never used to give away the matches. Now they give away matches all the friggin' time.
Yep.
On Raw.
That's one of the biggest points. And they've been doing that for probably the past 7, 8 years, where they've just been doing matches over and over.
Well, I think it started, not started, but they kind of ruined it a couple weeks ago when right after Orton won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Cena.
The next SmackDown, they had Cena versus Orton.
And there was
I was like, Orton, Cena's the champ. Orton won the Rumble. They're gonna have him fight 1-on-1. So then there's no possible way they're gonna make that WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you
and
just
storyline
gave
wise,
it all away.
Storyline wise, you have no reason to believe that match is gonna end in any way besides
any clean fashion.
Yeah,
yep.
Because why would they give away that 1 week after both of those things have just been decided?
Right.
What a foolish thing.
Yeah, I just don't... I don't understand why they build pay-per-views that way anymore. As far as Styles goes, though, I don't want to see him with Shane, but I don't know what they can use him on, but with the year he's had, especially considering, as we've said many times before, he basically ran SmackDown in John Cena's absence.
There is one other match I've actually heard about that would be cool, and I think AJ Styles is pulling for it, if I've heard right. I think he's calling him out on Twitter. It's AJ Styles versus Nakamura at Mania, and that would be
great.
Well,
amazing.
I heard Angle too. I heard AJ Styles.
Oh my God! If Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, I would lose my shit.
But like I said, they need to build that, and there's no.
They would have to do it immediately.
Yeah,
they would have to start getting. That's something because Angle is coming. You're reintroducing a character that most of the kids, they're Cena fans and stuff. They don't know who he is.
You know how you introduce Kurt Angle to Cena fans? You say that's the first person that Cena lost to. Because Cena debuted against Kurt Angle, and
that'd be easy because I think they faced each other in TNA hundreds of times. Angle and AJ
Styles, they definitely fought a bunch of times.
So that'd be
I just want to see Angle fight again, but even if
supposedly it's happening.
Good,
I'm happy. It's supposedly it's going to happen, but it's extremely limited. It's going to be less than Brock even wrestles now.
I'd love to see another Brock Angle.
I could see that,
yeah. Oh, speaking of Brock. Let's talk about that because WWE has limited dates with Brock. He's contracted for so many dates, and so each date that they utilize him for has to mean something because they don't get him all the time. They used a date to have him stare into a camera for about 5 minutes on Monday while Paul Heyman sat in the background saying Paul Heyman shit.
To be fair, it's not established that they used a separate date. He could have done that.
No, he was there.
Oh, he was there?
He was there, yeah.
Oh,
They also do a lot of stuff, because I see this on YouTube a lot, is a lot of times he comes out, if you just look for this, after Raw goes off the air.
Yeah, he's done that twice.
He's come out twice. They do the same thing. He F5s the Big Show.
Yep.
Don't know.
He also did it at a house show, too.
Yeah, he comes out after it's over. So
and
I don't
he's
know.
supposedly fighting Kevin Owens at the Madison Square Garden house show soon.
He
That needs to be on TV.
last
Oh my
summer.
God, put that on the network.
Last summer when he had that big feud with Randy Orton,
Yeah.
they had another huge rematch at a house show that no one was. I want to say it actually might have been at Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
It was a house show,
And then Brock Lesnar fought Kofi Kingston in Japan. You remember that? That was ridiculous.
I love the live house show specials because, especially when they're in different countries, because the Japan one, I fucking woke up at 6 in the morning.
I watched it. It was called like the Beast of the East.
Yeah, the
right?
Beast of the East, and it was like him standing in front of the rising sun.
They need to absolutely. They have all you need. It's like 2 or 3 cameras. It doesn't need to be super high quality because you're putting it on the network. You know, only most of the diehard fans are going to watch that. They need to put more of those specials on TV, especially with ones that have like Lesnar at them or Goldberg at them or any big matches.
You think Goldberg's going to be back on like a part-time basis following Mania? Like not just for the remainder of 2017, but do you think he's going to periodically appear?
I don't know if this is like blasphemy for me to say, but I don't care. I don't care about Goldberg.
I think he's definitely going to win the belt. I don't think he would have came back. These guys have such big egos that. Do you think he would have came back without having the promise to win the
if the money was right?
Right,
maybe.
but like I give him the belt for a month, like from Fastlane, because he's definitely losing to Brock at WrestleMania, 100%.
Yeah.
You think Brock, being who Brock is, would have put this guy over like 3 times in 60 seconds if he wasn't going to beat him at WrestleMania?
We've talked about this on the show too, but I want to get your opinion on it. Brock wins at WrestleMania. He wins the title. Who does he face next?
Strowman.
You could do that.
Oh my God, that would be the worst.
You could do Finn Balor, but I mean, realistically, there's no realistic way that Finn Balor would ever beat.
That's exactly
what
that's what we said last time.
Because the thing is Brent was going on about this last time with the rules have changed with little guys and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, they're changing again, but with Brock, the new rules that exist don't apply to him. Like there's no way a Chris Benoit, or Rey Mysterio, or like an Eddie Guerrero, or any little guy that's held the title
could ever beat
Brock.
Eddie Guerrero beat Brock for the title.
Can we say Chris Benoit? Is that allowed?
Well,
yeah,
we can say Chris Benoit, yeah.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want. Yeah. It's our show. We got like 10 listeners.
You know what we can even talk about?
Wait, is there a listener count? Can you find the listener count?
Yes, I think 10.
But you know what we can also talk about, because it's our show?
Yeah.
Things like the plane ride from hell.
Yeah. Bring it up. What a ridiculous
controversial plane ride. I'll let Tobin preface this one because it's like his favorite wrestling thing of all time.
I mean, it's just a great story. I mean,
do you give us some bullet points of stuff that may or may not have happened?
I wasn't there, but what I can say
from what you've
I heard
gathered.
Ric Flair is naked in a robe, balls out, strutting.
Yep.
Michael Hayes pissed on Linda McMahon. X-Pac was saying everyone was doing their gimmicks, GHB, and
they were doing all their drinking and stuff.
We should go back to those. We need that back, man. There's not enough of that anymore.
No, we need more drug use. Get drug use, and I mean that hasn't taken plenty of lives yet.
Well,
Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar.
Want to hear some good stories? As much as everyone hates Kevin Nash, if you listen to some of his interviews, he tells some really good stories.
I like his stories.
His road stories are.
I like his stories. I hate him. I think he's one of the most overrated wrestlers.
He does come off like a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
He does his interviews. He comes off like the biggest. Actually, funny enough, he was slated to be at TerraCon this weekend in Providence. So for anybody that's not listening from New England, which I'm sure is nobody, but if anybody,
we actually do have a couple.
Oh, we do. So anybody that's not listening from New England, there was a convention that's supposed to be in Providence this weekend, and Kevin Nash is supposed to be there, and I have an NWO logo thing that I had X-Pac sign when I met him, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go get Kevin Nash's, I want to get everybody's, And
He backed out?
he's the only fucking cancellation they have. He's the only one. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's like cancellations Kevin Nash.
Dude, that reminds me of, just on the topic of cancellations, in the history of Raw, ever, there's been 2 shows canceled. And one of them happened to be when me and my friends were going to go to Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, there was that
Oh, the Blizzard. The Blizzard.
Was
Right?
it the Chris Benoit one, right?
Yeah, and then the Chris Benoit one that got canceled. Those are the only 2. What are the odds
Really? Those are the only 2?
that have ever been canceled?
Weird. I didn't realize the...
There may have been a 3rd one. Now, granted, they still showed Raw on TV both nights.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they I don't think they've ever missed a broadcast.
They didn't
Never
cancel
missed
one
a
after
broadcast.
9/11. I feel like this one was canceled after 9/11.
No, they broadcast 9/11.
They were the first live
That's
gathering
right.
after
Okay,
9/11.
all right, yep.
Because
Do you remember it was on the ramp?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had, like, the big, like, fucking flag hanging from the fist or whatever.
Yep. They did a live Thursday night SmackDown that week.
Oh, that's right. That was on. I was thinking it was on a Tuesday, but
Yeah,
we
no.
went there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, SmackDown was live back then.
Yeah.
So, all right, so before we, well, Tobin, did you have anything else you wanted to bring up? Be it Nikki Bella?
See, we
or-
discussed Nikki Bella, right?
We discussed him. We've got Batista in. We got Orton in. I think I'm good.
We got a lot of the evolution,
We-
a lot of authority references.
We didn't talk about Ric Flair. You mentioned how you met Ric Flair. We got
Yeah. So I met Ric Flair a couple of months ago.
Was he a
and,
real gentleman and a scholar?
I would love to meet Ric Flair. To be honest.
So
I would ask about the plane ride from.
So I went to the Rhode Island Comic Con, and it was really odd. So I go to the Rhode Island Comic Con. It's on a Friday that I went. I didn't want to even bother going on the Saturday because I knew how packed it was going to be. So actually, I met Ric Flair and Jake the Snake.
That's awesome.
So I go up, and Flair doesn't have a line. There's really nobody there because it's a Friday night. It's kind of dead for a Comic Con anyway. And he's got maybe about like 4 or 5 people in line. And everybody that was in line ahead of me, like at least 3 of them, they weren't getting a picture or photo with him, so they weren't paying him for anything. So he couldn't have been any less interested in what they had to say. Like, it was just so, like, somebody's like, oh, like, I watched you at the Nassau Coliseum in '88. He's like, oh, that's great,
Yeah,
like, get out of here. So I went up to him, and I was like, he's like, how's it going? And I was like, I gotta get a picture with the man. And he goes, oh, yeah! So I had him sign a picture. And I get the picture. I got the black and white promo photo from '92 with the real world champion.
The one they blurred out.
So I get that one, and he, which is funny because I was watching it. I didn't remember that storyline. The only one that was sticking out to me was when he had the affair with Miss Elizabeth.
I said if I ever would meet Ric Flair in my mind right now, I literally just said, I would definitely bring up when he had those doctor photos.
Those doctor photos.
She's like in the
Feeding him strawberries by the pool.
So I walk up to him, and he asked me a question. I don't know what he perceived my age to be, but he asked me. He was like, you ever see me live? And I was like, yeah, I saw you wrestle a couple times in WCW, but I can't recall who your opponents were at that point in time. But most recently, the most recent match I saw you in was I saw you in 2006 versus Mick Foley in the hardcore match at SummerSlam in Boston, which got stopped early, if I remember, from being there. I don't remember why, but one of them was hurt or something. So, and he was like, he goes, oh yeah? And I know you're watching my daughter. And I went, oh, yeah, I was at Hell in a Cell in Boston a couple weeks ago. He goes, incredible, right? So then he took the picture and sent me on my way. So that was my interaction with Ric Flair. So while I'm walking away from Ric Flair's thing,
Do you think, before you continue, do you think he asked you if you're watching his daughter because that's who he's watching the most? Like, he's very interested in
I don't think it was like a perverse thing.
I'm
But it
watching my
came off
daughter.
that way. Yeah, it came off really just odd.
Yeah.
Who is she dating? She's dating
She was married, but she got divorced.
to
I don't know if she's
a
dating
guy
now.
from TNA, Bram.
Really?
I think so. I believe so.
You know what? I believe I don't know.
Yeah. So as I'm walking away from Ric Flair's booth, Jake the Snake comes out from like an emergency access exit right by Ric Flair's station, and as he's walking by, he flicks Ric Flair off. Like, and it was great because he didn't even look at Ric Flair. He just walked by and threw the bird up and was looking straight ahead.
That's awesome.
So
That's wonderful.
So I go to meet Jake the Snake, and I was pretty stoked about meeting him. maybe even a little more so than I was Flair, because Flair I've become more of a fan of in recent years. I didn't like when I was younger. But Jake the Snake, I mean, I had the little, like, rubber toy Damien and stuff. So I go up to meet him, and I think it was like $20 to get a photo with him. And he instantly starts trying to sell me on a t-shirt. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get a photo with you, but, like, Flair cleaned me out. He goes, you want to hear a really cool backstage story about Ric Flair? And I went, yeah. He goes, he's a piece of shit. And he took the picture with me, and that was it. So
that's awesome.
How
long ago was this?
That was very recent.
That was in November.
I wanted to go to that because I wanted to see Flair. I want to say Kelly was there.
She was there, yeah.
She might be coming
yeah,
back, too.
Maria was there, too. Maria Kanellis.
And the girl from American Pie was there that I wanted to go see.
Oh, Tara Reid and Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Tara
yeah.
Reid looked terrible. She looked awful. And, like, if people, like, she was almost like the American Pie version of Virgil. Like she was just like, she was all over anybody that was walking by. She's like, want a picture?
He was just a lonely black sad man.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like, I've seen Virgil in person, and so I didn't realize this. Virgil brings a banner that says Virgil and Ted DiBiase, but Ted DiBiase doesn't show up to half the events. And he has the $1 million belt, and he has Ted's pictures out. So people will walk by and be like, oh, when's Ted coming? But, oh, he'll be here in a little bit, but here, put the belt on. I'll be $20.
I've heard Virgil is the biggest cat. Like, he just wants money for
No,
everything.
they say I saw a thing on I mentioned YouTube. I probably should get paid by them.
Yeah.
I saw a thing on YouTube the other day. For like a certain amount of money, Virgil will come to your house.
What?
You guys gotta look this up, and he'll like watch wrestling pay-per-views with them. And there's a bunch of guys that's sitting there drinking like beers in the couch.
We need to
with,
get some
with
money.
Virgil.
We're going to get Virgil on the podcast.
I guarantee you pay him to get here, he'll be here.
Did you hear him on Sam Roberts going on about fuck money?
No.
Oh, so Virgil was sitting there, and like he went on, like somehow Sam Roberts, if I'm remembering correctly, this is from like 2 years ago, but somehow Sam Roberts got him to come on his, I can't remember if it was late night show or his wrestling podcast. I don't know if he had the podcast at that point in time. So, by the way, if you guys listen to this and you like wrestling podcasts, check out Sam Roberts, even though I'm advocating for him, but really great wrestling podcast.
Very good.
So, but anyway, he's sitting there, and he starts insinuating that Sam needs to pay him, and he's like, you need to give me my fuck money. I need my fuck money right now. I think it's on YouTube, so we can definitely link it on our page. But yeah, he just started going on about how he needed to get his fuck money. And then Sam had some girl that was in the studio that he was broadcasting with, and he started like hitting on her and stuff. It was one of those awkward things. I think he was shit.
I think it's Katie Linendahl.
It might have been Katie Linendahl, yeah, because she does the podcast.
She does the podcast with the
Kathy
podcast.
Kelly does some stuff with him too. So I don't think it was her though. I don't think she was with him at that point.
Oh, can we give a shout out to Charlie Caruso on Monday Night Raw?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
she the MVP of Monday Night Raw, being all over the place? And
She's second best looking woman on in wrestling right
Next
now.
to Nikki Bella.
Behind Nikki Bella.
okay, right behind it.
So, so before we shoot it out to the bonus question, which Scumbag Mike came up with this week, we did have some losses in the wrestling world this week. I know one of them was really personal for you, Mike. So I'll let you take this.
Yeah, the biggest one for me that was really personal was Ivan Koloff. Mostly because he was the first memory I have in wrestling was a match with Ivan Koloff and the Powers of Pain, which was the Barbarian and the Warlord, versus the Road Warriors and Dusty Rhodes in a barbed wire match at Clash of the Champions 1. My dad had this videotape, and I swear I wore that thing out just watching that match. The main event was Sting versus Ric Flair, and I think it was like a 60
that was 88, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a 45-minute time limit
Yeah.
because I was playing the video game and redoing that match today.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the kid from the Wonder Years was one of the judges. And they
Fred Savage?
And,
No, the brother.
and somehow Flair, even though Sting won, he still ended up with the title.
Yep. Yep. Oh no, because the judges, they when they threw up their numbers, it was a tie in the numbers, and he retained because he was there for that. But that was one of my first memories. Like I can't remember anything before that, and I just remember watching that tape over and over and over. And that was when I was like 3 years old. But we also lost George the Animal Steele this past week, and I know he's a very lovable, nice guy. I've heard over the past week a lot of people doing retrospectives on his career, and saying he's one of the biggest characters that they've ever had and one of the most lovable, nicest guys. He was a teacher for a long time, and it was very sad to lose him because he's probably one of the people remember most for like his later years that he had against Savage. He had a big run where he was trying to get
that Steamboat feud and
Yep.
everything at
and he was trying to get Miss Elizabeth to manage him. And
yeah,
stuff.
he
And that
was carrying her off.
That was a good one. I mean, he wrestled for like 20 years before that, I want to say, but that was one of the 15 years before that.
Yeah, I remember all his late 80s into...
But yeah, that was when he kind of got big. And then we officially lost Nicole Bass this week, too. She's not as big a name as the other two, but she did play a prominent role in ECW and WWF for a little while.
She was in a thing with Val, right? She was she was chasing Val Venus. Was that her? Was that
I believe
the storyline?
So. I believe so, yeah. She was.
I remember, didn't she like grab the towel off?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
It was so we lost 3 of our wrestling legends this past week, and sadly, even before that, we lost Jimmy Snuka, who has kind of mixed feelings because he has a controversy surrounding him, and then Chavo Guerrero Sr., who I'm surprised didn't get a memorial in WWE because he was there for a couple of years managing Chavo, and they didn't really say anything about him. But I just want to let it be known that we send our respects to their families and friends.
All right, so with that, that brings us to the bonus question.
Yeah.
So, Scumbag, what do you... Yeah, I had one prepared, and you said you had a topical one today based around the fact that we have the COO in the house.
We
for
have
a
the
rare
COO
appearance.
and going.
Wait, so who does the bonus question go to?
It
it's
goes
just a
out
top.
to
It's a
all of
topic.
us.
It's
Yeah.
not a question.
Oh, so all right.
It's not like a multiple choice.
All right,
win
all
or
right,
lose.
all right.
It's a topic that we discuss, and it's kind of free form. But going into this podcast, we had one topic on our list was the weakening of finishers.
Yep.
That we really wanted to talk about, and we did a good job talking about that. That being said, what is the worst finishers that you guys can think of? I mean, I know we have a couple minutes if you guys want to come up with a couple, or like
Cobra.
GTS.
Really?
Ooh,
I hate the GTS.
I think that's a really impactful move.
It's
It has believability to it.
Anything that has a fireman's carry setup needs to end with like a slam to the mat.
Not a knee to the face?
And then he just... I hate the GTS. I hate it. I've always hated it.
I will speak for BG, who is not here today. I know for a fact he hates the belly to belly
Yeah.
as a finisher.
How about the straight fire elbow?
Oh, that's one of the worst. I think...
From Miss Wonka
Oh
herself.
my god. I think my least favorite finisher of all time is the Wasteland from Wade Barrett. It was literally a fireman's carry where he would just
That's terrible.
drop him over his head. And, I mean, that ended with a slam. I think the GTS is better than that move.
No, I hate the GTS.
One of my friends absolutely hates the Finn Balor double stomp off the
Because
top.
that's just so hard to do. Like, you would never do that. Like, that'd be so hard to...
He just thinks it's a dumb move because it's not flashy or anything, but in reality, it's one of the most impactful moves. Like,
I still can't figure out how he doesn't crush somebody's ribs when he does it.
I think he does.
I
He
think
just
no.
crushes them.
If you look at it in slow motion, his ass is like hitting the ground, like the mat, right around the same time his legs are hitting there. So I'm guessing his rear end is taking most of the impact. Yeah. But like it's still, if you look at it, it still looks like they catch some of it to the ribs. But you know,
The people's elbow was actually kind of bad, too.
I hate that was his finisher, not the rock
I always
bottom.
thought it was the rock. I didn't like. I mean, obviously when I was watching,
He had two. I
knew,
must say he
but,
had two.
I always thought the sequence when people's elbow rock bottom. I had forgotten that it went.
It went rock bottom, people's elbow, and it was so disappointing.
Well, no, it was a spine buster.
Spine buster,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, if you want to go before that, he would do the slaps, the spit in his hand slap, and then into the spine buster, into the...
Yeah.
But
How about quick, best finishing move of all time?
The best finishing move of all time? Stone Cold Stunner.
You think so? I'm gonna say Tombstone.
Tombstone?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like, best finishing move of all time? Like,
Just everything, because when they hit the Tombstone, it's over.
Yeah, it is over, but the Stone Cold Stunner had such... It popped every time. And then you had, like, some of the best sells. You can't really sell the Tombstone. What about you? What's some of your either least or favorite finishers?
I like Sami Zayn's blue. Well, is the blue thunder bomb is using?
No, he uses the haluva kick or the. Is that what it's called in WWE?
Well, the blue thunder bomb he goes into a pin, so I guess it could be like a secondary finisher.
Yep.
I like that one a lot. I'm a huge fan of off the top rope bulldog, too. Actually, my character in 2K17,
Like the Steiner brothers, like the one that they did where it was on the
no,
shoulder.
not a 2-man. Like I just like when someone jumps off the top rope, catches the other guy in a bulldog.
Who would do that as a finisher?
I
mean, it is a cool move.
I've seen
It is a
people
cool
do
move.
it. Yeah, I'm just in general. I like the bulldog, except I don't like it in the Stratisfaction variation because like it's so clear the other person's carrying it.
Yeah.
But
Stratisfaction.
yeah, in the video game, my character does his signature move is it's like a leg bulldog. So he jumps off the second rope and he hooks the guy's head with his
Kind of
leg
like
into a leg
like
drop.
a Fame Master?
Yeah, but
Or the move that Cena does. It's the off the top rope Fame Master. Because he does that. He catches people with that.
My character only does Batista bomb. That's it.
I used to. I think a powerbomb is one of the most devastating finishers. I think DDT is another great one. But yeah, as far as the worst ones go, there's a couple of doozies out there. I think Dean Ambrose really downgraded his finisher. I like when he used to do
What was the old one? I can't remember because I liked it better. But
it was pretty much the same, but he would hold you
Like in a front, like a headlock, reverse headlock.
It was like a
almost.
reverse DDT where he was reversed.
Yeah.
Like he would have his back to you, and he would hook your head like in headlock, like you were gonna give someone a noogie kind of,
Yeah.
and then just drop you forward.
Okay, because I was watching SmackDown and I was like, I can't remember his old finisher, but I remember he had it. And why did he change that? Was that a concussion issue or
I
something?
don't know.
Probably because the same thing. They changed the curb stomp.
Curb stomp was a good move.
I was always kind of surprised they did the curb stomp because of like its association with American History X and shit. You know.
They took away the Orton punt, which I used to like.
Oh, when you heard the voices.
the punt, oh, he would lose his mind.
Voices.
Yeah. You know what move's actually pretty cool? Ty Dillinger's finisher, which he never actually beats anyone with, but the tiebreaker, which is like is almost an FU into a neck breaker on his knee.
Oh, I always liked the page turner.
Yeah, that was a cool
I
one.
always thought that was a cool one.
The Sister Abigail's alright.
It's the setup with it. The move itself is just okay. I always loved the Boss Man Slam.
One of my friends is a huge fan of the Boss Man Slam and says like whoever does that is like his favorite wrestler at the time.
Yeah, well, I look at the Deep Six as a ripoff of the Boss Man Slam to a degree. It doesn't the spin.
You said you watch TNA Abyss does the Black Hole Slam,
Yep,
which is the Boss Man Slam.
Yeah, I was always a fan of that.
Oh, I love it. Wrestling finishers.
So anyway, that about does it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. You know, if you do like it, please, well, even if you don't like it, just like it anyway. And subscribe, share it with your friends. We're at about 50 likes on Facebook. We are toying with the idea of doing a contest when we hit 100. So we'll have some type of a giveaway most likely. So if you can share with your friends, we'll get the details out to you as soon as we hit 100 with that. As far as our COO, Rich Tobin's concerned, you can expect him on periodically, especially now as we head into Mania.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I appreciate being here, and I'm gonna try to make it back as much as I can.
Yeah, it was nice having you.
I loved it.
And BG will be back next week. So once again, this has been the Authority on Wrestling podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. And BG will be back.
Where's my fuck money?